Okay, we're ready to get started. Hello, and I'm not sure if everybody that's on has been on previously, but my name is Scott Lobenthal. I'm the president of HangTuf, and this is our first Chalk Talks of 2025. And we have a special guest on today, Alanna Garcia from Kelvin University. She's back at school right now. Alanna, it comes from the Holt area right here in our backyard, and we'll give you a little bit of background on her as well here shortly. But just a reminder that our Chalk Talks is an opportunity, um, part of the Hang Tough Way in our program, that we want to try to connect our athletes with other college or professional athletes out there, kind of like a big sister, little sister program. All the girls can learn from each of the speakers, based on their experience, going through high school or playing travel, how they got it started playing ball, to the recruiting process. Because it is possible, every single girl here, as a part of our program, it's definitely possible for you to go on and play in college. And if you're interested in that, these guests are a great way for you to ask questions, just listen in on their experience and their softball journey, and it just helps you build, more knowledge and get used to, what to expect here as you're coming of age. Um, like I said, Alana is a very special, hang tough player. I've had Alana for the last, well, I shouldn't say the last, but for 5 years as a coach. And her dad, Coach Juan, is her dad for the girls that didn't know that. Alana's in her, like I said, she's from the Holt area. She was a former Holt Ram and played 4 years of high school softball. She was a four-time all academic, four-time all conference, three-time all district, and all region. And she was the Lion Club's. She received the Lion Club Award and also the Calvin Knights Award. So she was a very decorated athlete here for the Holt Rams. Um, and like I mentioned before, she was also a former Hang Tough player and played 5 seasons with Hang Tough. And also, she's a student assistant softball coach this year as well. So she helps her dad's 16U team out when she's in town or available. I know she gives lessons as well for hitting and fielding too over at Kelvin University. And she's at Kelvin University, which is located in the Grand Rapids area, which is a Division III school. And like I mentioned before, we have these conversations every week. Athletes can be playing Division I, Division II, Division III. It's just different sizes of schools. Division IIIs are a little smaller and have smaller classrooms for students as well, but they do have academic as well as athletic programs of interest for many girls. So, and then there's NAIA, there's JUCO, which is junior college. So there's a lot of different options out there that are available to young ladies that are interested in playing softball or just going on to college. So it's good to hear from a wide range of different schools and get feedback from student athletes. And Alana is a junior this year, and she's in the nursing program. I know my daughter, Sadie, has just been going through the recruiting process and has landed at a JUCO at Kalamazoo Valley Community College, also in the nursing program. And Alana can kind of talk about the challenges with some softball programs being able to play athletics, and then you also are able to do your clinicals for
Mhm.
nursing. And I know Calvin is one of those schools that works with their athletes to make sure that they're able to do that. Um, and we'll go into that in more detail. And Alana is going to be a 2026 graduate. And right now at Calvin, I know she's playing a little bit of second base and utility and DHing for the program. And did I leave anything out, Alana?
Yeah, I just actually have become a first baseman recently. So,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah. You always say, Coach, I can do it.
Yeah,
when the
always.
opportunity is
It's
there.
good to be able to play multiple positions.
Yeah. And you played some first base for HangTuf.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play any first base for Holt when you were in high school?
A few innings, but
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great having somebody that's can play multiple positions, and especially for the rest of you girls that are listening in. When you're in practices, I know we rotate you guys around, probably giving you a little bit of experience in the outfield, which everybody should get some experience in that position, but it's also good to practice multiple positions on the infield because then you get a better understanding of where do you go, how do you play that position. You never know if somebody's going to be sick or somebody might get an injury, and it's a great opportunity to be able to tell your coach, hey, I can go in, I can play that position. So I know Alanna was one of those girls for us that could play multiple spots. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Alanna. Anything I left out here in the highlight reel?
I don't think so. I think you hit it all.
Okay, great. So we'll go on and we'll start be a little bit more of you talking and less of me here as we're going through. When did you start playing softball, and who inspired you to play?
So I played t-ball when I was little, and then I took a big break away from sports. I grew up watching my brother play a lot in his wrestling and football, and I knew like I was a competitor. And so around 10, I came back to softball after doing gymnastics and cheer and kind of just goofing around with all that and having fun. And I knew I wanted to compete. So my parents were like, well, what about softball? So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So I came to Junior Rams when I was, I think, 10. So I started there, and then the next year I made the A team for Junior Rams, and it kind of just took off there. Like I had a love for it, and so I kept going, and then I yeah, I think my parents pushing me and watching a lot of Holt's varsity girls growing up, that was inspiring for sure, for me to keep going. So, and then that led me into travel ball and so on. So,
Yeah, awesome. And I take it your dad probably pushed you a little bit towards softball.
yes, yeah, they were very excited.
You know, and I know he was a baseball player when he was in school.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, that's awesome. What was your experience like playing for Holt and also for Hang Tough? Just kind of, I know some girls, when we have them on, they might play for a high school team that's not very good, and
Mm-hmm.
we always encourage our girls to play. We want all of them to play in high school, and I know that sometimes those relationships can be challenging with coaches or with the teams, but I think it's great for them to play with the kids that they played like with like Junior Rams,
Mm-hmm.
play with them all the way through school.
Yeah.
Um and I know that you had a great couple of years, you had great athletes in the
Mm-hmm.
program, so your experience I think was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm definitely blessed. I think we had six seniors and five of us went on to play college ball. So I started playing with them when I was 12, and then all the way up until varsity ball, we all played together. So that was pretty cool experience. I think it's important to play for your school, play for something bigger than yourself. So yeah, I my experience playing both was fun. I got to play with the girls I saw at school all the way from the age of 12 to graduation, and then I would even get to play against them in travel ball, which was super fun, running into people at travel tournaments. And I think travel ball teaches you a lot, but I think high school ball also teaches you things that travel can't. So I think playing both is really important for sure.
Yeah, and I know that you had a leadership role on our team at Hang Tough when you were playing, and you always had a great work ethic, and you always wanted your teammates to strive, to work just as hard as you because you want to
Hmm.
get the most out of that experience. What was your travel ball experience like with Hang Tough versus? I know that you had some experience with some other programs
Hmm.
here locally, but then you came to Hang Tough and you kind of found a home here.
Yeah, for me, a big thing is like when you're on a team feeling like you're a part of a big family. I had issues in the past where I didn't really feel like that. And then when I came to HangTuf, we kind of connected with all the families. And before you knew it, we were hanging out on the weekends and it wasn't just about softball, which was really nice. So I think that was the biggest difference between the other travel teams that I had been on in the past before coming to HangTuf. So yeah.
Yeah, we hung out together, whether it was a softball weekend or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what was your recruiting process like when you I know that you put in a lot of work. I know that you kind of worked with NCSA.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing a lot of research on your own, reaching out to
Mm-hmm.
programs. Tell us a little bit about that and how you kind of landed at Calvin University.
Yeah, so for me, my sophomore year, I believe it was my sophomore summer, or going into my sophomore year, I think. I started looking, I knew I wanted to play college softball. And so I started doing a lot of research. I started emailing a lot of coaches. Um, just kind of blasting my name out there. I went to a lot of the blue chip camps, which if you haven't been to those and you want to play college softball, I highly recommend. It's a good way to get looked at by all the ranging from JUCO all the way to Division 1. So that's what I did a lot. I went to a lot of those camps. And then another thing for me was I know not everyone knows what they want to do with their life. For me, I knew I always wanted to do medicine, whether that was nursing or going into med school. So I would look at biology programs, I'd look at nursing programs, pre PA, at one point pre PT. So I think looking at the school for the school in itself first, and then softball was just an addition. So that's kind of what fed me into being like, okay, let's look into their softball program. Let's email the coach. Let's reach out. And then they would touch back and invite me out to camps, or I would just go, even if I wasn't invited. That way I could get a feel for the campus, what the other girls were like, what the coaches were like, the way they ran things, which is really important. Um, so yeah, and from sophomore year on, I kind of just did the same thing, just kept emailing, and then letting my name be known. And then I did work with that program as well. And I had a highlight video out on there, and I was able to connect with a lot of coaches, even from out of state, which was really nice. It taught me that I did not want to leave home. So I always encourage, like, kind of explore your options. Because if you don't, you'll never know. I went out on a plane to Minnesota. I came back and I was like, nope, not for me. I need to stay in Michigan. So really explore your options. That's probably my biggest advice when you're in the recruiting process.
Now, was that because of the weather, Alanna, or?
Not the weather. I love the snow, but just having to fly to a different state was not it for me.
Yep. Yep. And I know that, one of the other things with you is that you had a plan. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you knew kind of like you had a game plan that you wrote down what the items that you were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And when you visited those schools, you were like, checking off the boxes. Does it, do this for me? Does it take care of this? And, it's so true about school first, because you
Mm-hmm.
never know if there's an injury or something
Yep.
to happen. And you better make sure that you're someplace that you want to go to school first
Mm-hmm.
and foremost. And that just means for everybody too, you have to keep your grades up. You have to work
Mm-hmm.
hard in the classroom because you may get more money academically than you do athletically. So what are the things, why was Calvin it? How did it feel when you went and visited Calvin?
So Calvin was one of the last schools that I visited, I believe. I visited a lot at the beginning of my junior year. And I think Calvin was one of, I could be wrong. There was a lot of schools I visited. I think it was one of the last ones. Um, and nothing like compared. And even when I went to some other schools after Calvin, nothing compared. And like you said with the checklist, after every single, my mom can contest to this too, after every single visit, we would hit the car ride back home and I would be like, well, I like this, but I didn't like this. I like the coaches, but I didn't like this. So I think for me, it was just about making a pros and cons list. And what kind of led me to Calvin was the only thing that was on my cons list was that there was not a football program. I went to a D1 high school, so football was big for me. I've always been a big football girl. And we did get a football team just now, so that was kind of nice. But yeah, everything just checked off. It was in a city that I liked, a city where I think I'm gonna live in. So that's really awesome that I found kind of a new home away from home. I had great coaches. Um, the I think a big thing to look at too, a lot of people don't think about is look at the way when you go on visits how the girls treat each other, because that'll tell you a lot about their chemistry. It'll tell you a lot about what they believe in. At Calvin, everyone was family, and it's always an ongoing joke of, do you guys really like each other this much? And we're always like, yeah, like we have a prospect camp this coming up Saturday, and everyone every year they're always like, do you guys really like each other this much? And we're like, yeah, like we're inseparable. It's almost to the point where we need to like separate ourselves. So I would recommend looking into how the girls treat each other. So yeah, that was good. I'm big in my faith, so Calvin's a Christian university. I knew I liked that. So yeah, and having a program who puts faith first, family second, education, and softball, that was what Calvin did for me. And so that's kind of what led me here.
Yeah, that's great. You found
Mm-hmm.
what you were looking for, and you found your new home.
Yep.
Um, what were some of the things coaches were looking for? Like, say, when you went to the camps, what type of student athlete were they looking for? Were they looking for somebody that, had bad body language or had a bad attitude? Like, what did you see that attracted coaches to certain players?
I think no matter what college coach you talk to, I think they all will say how you respond to failure. Softball is a game of failure. You will fail more times than you succeed. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but it is so true. And so I think how you bounce back and how you answer is a huge thing that coaches look at. And I know my coach has told us so many times, even us playing in college, we still like have to work on that because it is defeating sometimes. And so being able to have a mentality of nonstop effort and just giving it your 100% effort that you have is really important because you can't teach effort. So I think that's a big thing that college coaches look at. So body language, definitely, for sure.
Good teammates. Yeah.
Yep, good teammates, good leaders.
Yeah.
They notice the little things. So,
And that goes for families too. A lot of times college coaches will come to tournaments. Jackie Joseph over at MSU would say this all the time, that she'd go to watch a girl, and if the families that were there were really negative, bad language, giving the umpire a hard time, whatnot, let alone the players, that she
mm-hmm.
would just scratch a team off the list and walk away. So, coaches do pay attention to who might be somebody's family member, and, it's all baggage,
Yep.
when we go off to college. So not only does the player need to reflect that positive attitude and be a good teammate, the family needs to be positive and supportive as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was your transition like going from high school and travel ball to college? Did you see a significant change in, like, say, the speed or the level of play when you got
Yeah.
to college?
Yeah. So jumping to college ball was a big it was it was a transformation for sure. The speed of the game works a lot quicker. Um Something about it, it's like a new sense of competitiveness. Everyone that you play against, everyone you play with was once an all-star on their high school team, on their travel ball team, and so you really have to fight for it every pitch. And sometimes that was, not a thing in travel or high school. So bringing your best every pitch, and it just moves so much quicker. Yeah. that was probably the biggest thing for me.
What, in your opinion, like work ethic wise, is required to be successful in college?
Um, we always say at Calvin, like giving your 100%, even if your 100% that day is 80%, just giving your full undivided attention to the team, um, and showing up no matter what kind of day you had. Um, I know that's like a big thing for me. I'm always going to give whatever I have that day. Work ethic is definitely required. It's just something you have to have. Everyone wants to be there and everyone's there for a reason. So, um, yeah, if you won't do it, someone else will. So,
Yeah. And the bare minimum is just showing up to practice. You got to put in
mm-hmm.
work outside of practice, right?
Yep.
So I know that you were a very hard worker, and
Mm-hmm.
after our practices would be over, that you'd be there working, or before practices would start. Um, just putting in that extra time
Mm-hmm.
to be a good ball player.
Yep.
Let's see here. Another question for you. So I think one of the cool things, especially about your group and team that came through, every team is different, but I think it's good for girls to hear, like say my 10U team, for example, to hear that when you came through and you played, you made a lot of friends on our team, and a lot of those girls went off to play in college, and you guys are all friends now,
Mm-hmm.
even today. And I know when we posted your chalk talks on Facebook, the couple old teammates were kind of like chiming in, "Go Alanna," like
Yep.
so. I think that that's a really cool thing about that, the travel ball experience, and
Mm-hmm.
having a positive atmosphere to play in. I know that you've got a lot of friends at different colleges playing ball too.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your favorite memories of playing travel ball?
Um, definitely I would say just having fun on the field. There would be moments where I would just look at some of my teammates and we dance on the field, or we would just say funny things back and forth. Just the looseness of it all was really fun. Probably hotel stays, taking trips together was memorable. Dinners after games, ice cream runs, all the fun things, all the little things for sure.
Yeah, no, that team bonding stuff. That's always
Mm-hmm.
great that time.
Yeah.
And then, what did you get from the organization? Like, say, just your experience with our coaches, and just the support that you've gotten after you've left travel ball.
Yeah, the support from HangTuf has been definitely tremendous. I still talk to a lot of HangTuf people, and it's really cool to come back. And I've met some new coaches that have come into HangTuf since I've left, and it's just really cool to connect with them and kind of share a little bit about my story. And they're like, "Oh yeah, like your dad." So like it's all bit one big family. So that's what I really like about it. But yeah, I talk to Coach Scott here and there every now and then, and it's hard to get something like that, I feel like nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, we're invested in you for the
Mm-hmm.
long run. I know we keep in touch with all the girls that have gone on to college, and even have graduated college and now are starting their professional lives
Mm-hmm.
out there, and it's something special. So,
Yeah.
um, so in your opinion, how, or at least in your case, how do you overcome adversity? Like when our younger kids will talk about this, frequently, like even in practice or in a game, they strike out. That adversity happens and it's very challenging. It kind of taxes your emotions and
Mm-hmm.
kind of makes you question the love for the game. What kind of things did you do, say, like from the mental toughness side, that, helped you and helped build your confidence and, influence your game?
Something that I really took away from Hang Tough when I got there actually was Jamie Lobdell, who now coaches at Cleary. There was one day where we were just at a camp and he was like, the ball doesn't care. For me, that was huge because I think sometimes it's so hard to not focus on a little mistake or a big mistake. Um, for me, it's like I'll tell myself like the ball doesn't care. Like the game's gonna still keep going. The game moves so fast. Um, and I always say like our coaches here at Calvin, they're like, there's a lot of game left to play. And so to keep that mentality during a game is really crucial. And even just in life, like you just got to keep moving. Yeah, I think too, physically when I'm on the field, I'll kind of work on my breathing. I'll take a few deep breaths. Sometimes I'll grab dirt, kind of throw it off to the side. Yeah, that's kind of just my little routine. But yeah, I think for sure just deep breathing is good too.
Mhm. And having a coach yell at you every once in a while to smile.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get your mind off of it. Just
Hmm.
relax, enjoy it. Um, and I know that, a lot of you girls that are, very determined and working very hard and trying to be a perfectionist, and you guys are a lot harder on yourselves
Hmm.
than any of the coaches can be on you. So that's something that, coaches need to keep in mind
Hmm.
when they're coaching on ladies that, um, they're really pushing themselves hard. And sometimes you got to step back and step away from it. And like you said, play loose, have fun. That's what, if you're having fun, you're going to play better
Hmm.
for sure. All right. So we've mixed it up a little bit, Alana. So now we have some tough questions for you.
Okay.
Tell us about your cats.
My cats.
Yeah. I know
So
you're a huge cat lover.
I
So,
am. I have three cats. I have Leo and Marley, who we fostered during COVID. And then we ended up adopting them. I got surprised, me and my brother, on Easter. That was our little gift that we got. Um, they're great. Little troublemakers. They're brothers, so and then during my junior year, I spent all year at home for school. So I convinced my parents to get me my own cat. I never had a female pet in my life, so I used that to my advantage, they might say. um, and I got a cat named Faith. So,
mhm.
yes, I love cats.
Does your dad love cats as much as you?
He absolutely loves cats. I think a
Okay.
lot more than me. Yeah.
So he acts tough, like, oh, I don't like these cats, but really, he's
He
a
loves
softie.
them, yes.
Okay. I believe that. I definitely believe that. Um, what is your who is your favorite professional sport team?
Um, I love football. I know they were not good this year, but I'm always cheering
Oh,
on the Dallas
oh,
Cowboys.
oh, Milana,
Yep.
the
Yeah,
family
I
thing.
know. I'm rooting on the Lions right now though.
Yep. Well, that's good.
Yes,
Good. Yep, they're having a good season.
they are. They deserve it for sure.
Yeah. Who's your favorite professional athlete? It can be a male or a female.
I would say without a doubt Sierra Romero.
Yeah. And she's coming back again, Alana.
Yep. Yeah. I just love everything about her. Great ball player, great person. So,
That she is. So very humble,
mhm,
cares a lot, big heart, and
mhm,
everything that she approaches in her professional career, she's trying to pave the way for other athletes to get more opportunities than what she's got.
mhm,
She's just trying to build it, including every single product that she's endorsing. It's a product that endorses female sports.
mhm.
So she's thinking about all these things, and I think that that's fantastic.
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
I didn't know this, and I should have known it because I've had your birth certificate with me for years. Your middle name is
Yeah, it's Sierra. Yep.
you know, was that after Sierra Romero?
Nope. No. I don't even know how my parents actually came up with that one. But
Wow.
my dad always jokes I'm named after the GMC Sierra, so I don't know.
Um, So right now, if you were to choose a walk-up song, what walk-up song would you choose?
I have actually chose Yeah by Usher. It's a good one.
Yeah,
Gets the crew bopping in the dugout, and it's a good transformation of energy. So,
very cool.
hmm
Um, and then, these are, my players, come up with these on their own, which are great. I know that you kind of talked about, you have routines that get you out of a rut or
hmm
kind of reset. What's your game day routine?
My game day routine, usually I wake up a few hours before I have to be to the field just to kind of get the grogginess out. If I'm home, it's a little bit different when we're away on the bus and all, but I usually eat a good breakfast, get ready, listen to some of my favorite songs. I'll go to the field a little bit early just to kind of take it all in, look at the field, put the cleats on, and then my team is really big on playing like hacky sack, playing different little fun games, getting loose before we actually have to hone in and get locked in. So we like to chit chat and play little fun games and all that, and we like to do dance parties. So yeah, that's probably my home game day, getting ready.
Any superstitions?
I've never had any, no.
Yeah,
I will
I
say
don't remember.
sometimes my hair, sometimes the way I do my hair, I usually do it the same every game day, but
How
since
about
high school, since travel ball.
how about Lucky Charms? Do you have one?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
And then I know you were number 16 through high school and travel ball, and then I think what are you in the like number 30 or something like that
Yep.
for
I'm
college?
number 30.
So why the say whatever your favorite jersey number is and why?
Number 16. 16's always been a good number to me. I don't know. I honestly don't know why I picked that, but my mom did bring it to my attention that that is her birthday, so that's a special one to me too.
Yeah, I know that you always take care of mom.
Yes.
Um, and what's next for you? Say, after you're finishing school, you want to get into nursing? Do you want to become a doctor? What do you want to do after softball?
Yeah, so right now, I'm hoping to go be a labor and delivery nurse, probably in Grand Rapids. There's a lot of good opportunity out here for me to kind of grow in my profession. And then I'm thinking about going back to school, helping out with the softball team out here at Calvin, and getting my master's degree to be a nurse practitioner. So,
That's cool.
hmm
So yeah, you're well on your way. Um,
almost there. Yep. It's
how
going by
has it
fast.
how has it been juggling school and softball at at Kelvin?
Um, the first 2 years were pretty standard, just going to class every day, going to practice, waking up early for 6 a.m. lifts. Sleep is definitely a big game changer. Um, I take that very seriously. I think a lot of my teammates do too, because we have some really early mornings. So yeah, getting sleep is really important. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
Probably time management.
yeah, time management's huge. Yeah, that's huge. Planning out your day. I have a calendar, a little planner that I write down all my stuff so I don't forget, because I'm someone, if I don't write it down, I'll forget usually. So yeah, I think clinical too, from a nursing perspective, if anyone's looking into nursing. Um, Nursing clinicals are, it's different. You're not just in a classroom, you actually have to be present, and so that kind of ties into getting good sleep. But for me, it's kind of like not bringing work to softball. That was really challenging for me at first. I would have some um just tough days. I worked in the mental hospital a lot, so I'd work with a lot of unfortunate situations, and then I would have to get ready and put my uniform on and get to practice in within an hour. So sometimes that was really hard, but yeah.
No, that would be tough for sure.
hmm
Um,
It's tough, but it's not impossible.
and tell me a little bit about your coach at Kelvin.
Coach Becky, I absolutely love her. I can't think of a better college coach for me personally. She's someone who is very tough, but she also has a lot of passion and a lot of love for the girls that she coaches. She always says that her goal isn't just to build us like champions, but um, to build us like strong, independent women, so that when we do go out into the real world, that we're a good leader for the rest of whoever else is in our profession. So I love that she prepares us for the real world for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I know I see her all the time at the coaches' clinics, and
Yeah.
she's always out and about too for recruiting. So I see
hmm
her
She's
frequently.
always out. Yep. Softball is life.
So when you and I think, this is great with having you on because I know how much work you put into your recruiting process. But when you were at not just at camps, but when we were at college exposure tournaments, I know that you took the time to go up and introduce yourself to the coaches that were attending. And you also shared your softball schedule with these coaches and said, hey, we're going to be out and about here. Come on out and watch us for a game. And not only did that, help you, but it also got more exposure for the other girls on the team as well. When the coaches came out, they were kind of taking note and
hmm
looking at the entire team and how they played. Um, any recommendations you have for the girls that are now, say, coming into 13, 14U and up through 18U, things that they could be doing at these college exposure tournaments to kind of help themselves?
Yeah, I would say that always the schools that you're interested, always email them. They might not be able to make it. But at least you know that you put your best foot forward, and you put out your schedule. And then I would say my biggest piece of advice would be to give them your schedule at least 2 weeks in advance, and then the week leading up to the tournament, kind of shoot out another email because they get a lot of emails every day. So I guess don't get discouraged if you don't hear back from them. Shoot out another email before the tournament and say, hey, just a reminder, I'll be here. And then maybe link the schedule again. That'd probably be my biggest advice. A lot of planning goes into the recruiting process in a lot of organizations. So
Yeah, very true. I don't know if you were aware of this, but we've got a new recruiting education program this year, and also
okay.
in a fitness training program. So Jalen Knox is running
hmm
the fitness training side of things, and then Madison Macy's helping on the recruiting education, uh,
Okay.
meeting with each of our teams and kind of laying it out and setting up profiles to having that contact list and so on, just like what you're talking about.
hmm
So it's a real thing.
Yes. Yes.
And
Very real.
it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Um, Last question for me, and then we're gonna open it up for the group. We will be doing the random raffle giveaway again. Over the last couple of weeks, we've given out gift cards, everything from the Rise and Shine Monica Abbott book to Mind Gym, which is a mental toughness book, as well to a Grinch gift set for a player for Christmas. So we do have a prize to raffle off, which we'll do here at the end after the question segment. Um, Last question for me. What do you think about our Hang Tough Chalk Talks? Because I know you used to be on the other side of this. You were one
hmm
of our players listening in on these when we would do it with other, college players and professional players. What do you think of this process?
I think that it's incredible, and I think it opens up a gateway of opportunities to hear about everyone else's experiences, because you get to learn from all different kinds of stories and levels of experience. So I think it's great. I didn't have anything like this when I was younger. I wish I did. Um, so yeah, I think it's doing a lot of good things for sure.
Yeah. No, it's like you said, no story is the same, and
Mhm.
everybody's, no matter who we've had on in the past, the recruiting process has been different or very
Mhm.
unique. So
Yeah.
it's always good to keep in mind that you could be seen anywhere. We've had
Mhm.
a player noticed when she went and she was purchasing a bat, and she did some demo swings in a cage, and she didn't know it, but the salesperson was a college coach. And then, Alanna visited multiple, went to the blue chip. She had a coach, hit her a hard ground ball and break her pinky finger.
This is true.
Right before a college exposure tournament. It's
This
like,
is
oh,
true. Yep.
man.
Yeah. And then I guess one little story I want to give because I think it's
Yeah.
really cool. I was at a blue chip camp, and I had never heard about Calvin in my life. And I'm born and raised in Michigan, which is insane to me. Knew about Grand Rapids, but never really explored out there. And Coach Becky was walking by, and blue chip's big. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of girls. And she walks by and I'm hitting off the tee and she's like, I really like your swing. And that is what started everything. I never met the woman. I never heard about Kelvin. And so that was a gateway. Like you don't, it's just another realizing moment. Like you never know who's watching. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool.
mm-hmm.
Open the door.
Yep.
All right, Alana. We're gonna release the hounds here. Um, So, girls, again, when we have the ask questions, limit it to one question, one at a time, and we're going to try to, get everybody involved and go through it. So maybe you'll get a second chance to ask questions, but we just want to provide the opportunity for as many girls to, kind of engage and be a part of this process. Um, so let's go ahead here. I
Let's
see
go
that.
with Paul. Let's go with Paul.
Let's go with Paul. Paul,
Yes.
you got to wait in line. You got to wait behind the kids, man. Come on.
Oh, one question. My battery's dying.
Okay.
One question for you. What advice would you give to somebody that is playing for their parent? Obviously, you did that as you were growing up with Juan, and I'm wondering what I can give. What advice can I give to Anaya?
Um, so I feel like me and my dad really had a good connection. We really had a good understanding of what I needed as a player. Um, we didn't have any horror stories of like I couldn't stand him as a player, and as his daughter, I would tell him he knows this too. Um, and he can say this is true. I would be like, I don't want you talking to me about this during a game. And he'd be like, okay. So he would he would always be at the end of the dugout. And if I needed to go talk to him, I would go talk to him. And that really helped our relationship. And I think I always respected him. Like when I was on the field, like he was a coach, not my dad. So yeah, I think if that kind of answers your question.
It does. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chrislyn?
All right, I gotta ask, as a diehard Lions fan, why the Cowboys?
My dad is born and raised from Texas. I
Uh,
was born into it.
Not her fault. Stevie? Yeah, you're gonna have to unmute.
Hi. What meals do you like to eat like before a tournament or a game? Like to energize you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I usually always have the same snack on the bus. I like green grapes, and I will always, this isn't really great, but I always have an energy drink or some kind of like energy tea with me. Um, that's usually what I like to eat. Sometimes coach will have PB&Js. Those are also really good. So just enough to get me
Snack
fueled.
before a game.
What was that?
Good little snack before a game. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you need the energy for sure.
Small, super healthy too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for answering my question.
Yep.
And Stevie's
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Stevie. Vanessa.
Hello, my name is Vanessa. What was your biggest achievement?
My biggest achievement in softball, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
Like your first home run, your first, like a game-winning catch.
Something I will remember probably for the rest of my life was hitting 2 big home runs when my team was down a lot in a big tournament in high school. That was pretty big for me. I'll always remember that.
Awesome. All right, we got a Zoom user. I don't have a name for you, but you got your hand up. Go ahead.
I don't know if that's me, but I'm Sophia and I'm a sophomore, and I just want to know like what's the biggest thing I can do for me and my high school team and my travel team if I don't want to play college ball. Like I want to know what's the biggest thing that I can do for my teams now and like just do the best I can while I'm here because I don't really want to play college ball.
Okay. Yeah, I've had a few teammates who didn't want to play in college either. And I think the biggest thing, if your other teammates really want to go on to the next level, I think just being something that I really appreciated was my teammates who didn't want to go on to college ball, still giving their full efforts and being supportive and showing up and just setting the tone no matter what. So, because that made me a better player, and it made me who I am today. Because I would not be who I am without my teammates.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have another question out there? Any other questions? You guys can just unmute. All right, I see Stevie. Stevie raised her hand again. Go ahead, Stevie.
Do you have any good luck charms?
No, I've never really had any good luck charms or superstitions or anything.
Really? Has your teammates have anyone? Hat?
I'm not too sure about that one. Not that I've noticed. I don't think so.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Chrislyn?
In high school, did you do like, sorry, did you do like any other sports or extracurriculars that were maybe hard to balance with softball? And like, if you did, how did you find a balance in what you did?
Yeah. I actually golfed 2 years. I played or I golfed for varsity at Holt. I did miss a lot of school with that, and so I made a very hard decision to give that up because I knew I was going to play college softball. But when I was in that, I think just finding a balance between the two sports, even though I was swinging a golf ball or swinging the club a lot, I would still swing my softball bat. And then I did like student council, National Honor Society. I think it's great to be involved in all those things. I think it builds a lot of character. I never personally really had a lot of trouble, but I think it goes back to time management and just really setting a schedule that works for you. I think that can be very beneficial.
Thank you.
Hmm.
You were the team manager for the
Oh yeah, and the wrestling team. Yep.
Yeah.
How could I forget? I spent all the time in the world in that place. Yep.
Yep, I know they appreciated it. You did a lot of
Yep.
work for them.
Yep. Love wrestling.
We have Callie.
You said you went to Holt. What elementary school did you go to?
I don't know if you would know, because they kind of shut it down after I left, but Midway.
Oh, I go to Wilcox.
Okay, I actually went to Wilcox for kindergarten, I believe. I don't know if I'm right on that. I think it was kindergarten. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lily. There, Lily.
Yeah. I think I also went to Midway, if it's the same one. But how old were you when you started softball?
I was 10.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And she played junior Rams just like you girls at 10.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you join my team? Alanna, was it 14U last year or 14U?
I think it was 16U, the first year of 16U.
First year, 16.
First or second year of 16U. I can't remember. I played 2 years of 18U, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm right on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 23U. So.
Yep. I think, yeah, we had you 5 years there. So very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie, you got another question?
Sorry, it just popped out of my head.
You know, Stevie, that Alanna hit a lot of home runs. She did. So I know that's a question that a lot of times you have.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, coming from HangTuf, going to college, coming back to HangTuf and doing the virtual talk, I mean, how do you feel about the full circle?
It's really rewarding to come back and do this, to share my experience and what I've been through, what shaped me into the player I am today and the person I am today. Yeah, I think it's just really cool to see. Yeah, just really rewarding.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
See here. Any other questions? If not, we are getting close to the end here, and we can do the
I have
raffle
one,
giveaway.
Scott. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm Mom.
all right. So Mom's got all the dirt.
Yes, I couldn't figure out how to raise my hand. Sorry, I'm not techie apparently. I've used it before. So Stevie asked you about good luck charms, Alanna. You don't necessarily have that. However, with Holt, you guys had a team friend, and your Kelvin team, you have many little friends. So I think you should share those.
Yeah. Actually, I have them on me. If I can go grab them. We have little action figures and stuff. We have little Legos. Yeah, they all have names. I don't even know where they're at right now, but I'm in charge of them and I bring them to every game. We even have a toilet. We flush it when something doesn't go our way. So yeah, we kind of look at them during the game and talk to them and have fun with them. So yeah. We do have some friends.
And then what about Rami at Holt?
Yeah. We did have that sat in the cubby.
I can see a trip to Spencer's coming for a toilet soon.
Yeah, it's a great way to really like flush it. We also have like a reset. Sometimes we'll just like reset on our hands. So those little things are good. Keep us loose.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Stephanie. Is there anything else you want to share about, what was Alanna like in the mornings before game days at tournaments?
Well, most mornings actually, she woke up very, I guess, in game mode. She would be, she definitely had her routines. And if her routine got broken, Dad and I would pay on the way to that game until warm up got started. She would be a little more nervous when things weren't going as if they should. As she got older, however, she was able to, she started with you, her first 16U year. So she got to be with you for the 4 years. And I think by probably that second or first 18U year, she was able to realize if things didn't quite go the way that she was hoping maybe that morning, she was able to figure out what in her warm up. She was very, very routine with her pregame, and she was able to adjust to that as she matured and got older. One thing that I'm actually surprised and with her talking was for all those travel years going to tournaments. Obviously, all of you know that it's early rises, and the one thing she was never able to do is have caffeine. So I am shocked to hear that she is drinking those now because and she, just so you guys know, she's not around drinking Red Bull and stuff. She's choosing a little healthier energy drink like the Alanis. They can't have certain things like, oh, what is it?
The Celsius are
Celsius,
banned in the
they can't
NCAA.
have those and stuff like that. So she drinks like Alani's and that kind of thing. But earlier, when she was younger, she couldn't even have coffee. It would be too much energy for the adrenaline she would have prior to game ready. But I, can't thank all of you young ones. Coach Scott has done a beautiful job putting together a great foundation for this organization, and Alanna is a testament to what has become, and I am forever grateful, Coach Scott, for that. And Alanna, you did a beautiful job tonight. Good job.
Thanks, Mom.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you, Stephanie.
Great job.
Thank you.
And if anybody didn't know this, which I'm sure if you know Stephanie, you do, she is an absolute saint because she deals with Juan all the time. I mean, just think about that.
He's a mini one that talks like Steph.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that random drawing, and hopefully she is still on. So I did it just a few minutes ago, and it's just based on the number of whatever number we pull for who's on here. But it was Daniel. Is it Castilla? Are you on, Daniel?
Yeah, hello.
Awesome. So we've got the winning state of softball book for you. So
Oh, that's cool.
I'll make sure I give that to you at practice on Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. So, all right. It looks like we're right there at that 9:01 time slot. Alanna, I want to just say thank you for taking your time and volunteering to share your softball journey with the girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
So hope you have a good night, have a good semester, and
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
make sure that I'm going to catch a couple of your games this year.
Awesome.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Good night.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you.